Well guys, it might be time to create some shirts that don't say square body goons, they say panther goons. So stay tuned. That rhymes. So if you guys remember in my last video, and I will link that right up here, I went to go look at 2 Lincoln Town cars and a Buick Roadmaster. All three of them were ex-limo cars or taxis, very high mileage, and I made an offer, the seller declined. Well, we're about a week and a half later, and I now own a Buick Roadmaster, an 03 Lincoln Town car, Executive L, and an 04 Lincoln Town car, Executive L. So the way the story goes is I made her an offer. She declined, said she had to have more. She called me back just yesterday and asked if I would reconsider. She came to a different offer. I came up a little bit. She came down a little bit. Long story short, I now own the 3 cars. So this video is solely going to be dedicated to the Buick Roadmaster. We'll do a walk around. We'll get inside. We'll pop the hood. We'll get it up in the air. We'll check things over to see exactly what it is you're looking for. Let's get this thing around back and start taking a look. So before we bring this inside, we want to walk around the outside and kind of pick apart anything cosmetically or mechanically or whatever we seem to find on this thing that might be wrong. One thing I did notice when I looked at it last week is that the paint looks fairly new. It's had a repaint recently. I'm not sure when. It's quite dirty because it's been sitting under some trees here right now. But the paint looks fairly decent, and I think it'll clean up well. This thing with 660,000 kilometers on it, that's about 413,000 miles. It's showing good for its age and for its mileage. All the chrome pieces around the outside, from what I can tell, are here. It does have winter tires on the back, all-season tires on the front. All the hubcaps are there, and they all match. The Buick Roadmaster Limited badging is there. The window tint is old. Been on there for quite a while. She's bubbling. But it is what it is. Again, these used to be executive limousine cars or limousine-style taxis. Come around the back, we get the big, long, wide tail lights. Single exhaust on these cars. And for those of you guys who didn't notice or who didn't know, the gas fill is still behind the license plate, even in 1993. We come around to the passenger side. Again, the badging is there. All the trim is here. Matching hubcaps. And the tires are in good shape. They're all seasons in the front, like I said, winters in the back. But you know what? For the price that we're probably going to ask for this car, it's going to be what you get. And I think once we give this thing a good bath, we'll be able to see a lot more. As I mentioned before, it has a good inspection sticker. It was inspected in June of last year. In New Brunswick, they're good for 2 years, so it expires next year, last day of the month in June. We come inside here, and one of the things that it does have is it's got a little bit of a clunking noise inside the door somewhere, so that when I close it, there's something that's still bumping up and down, and the only thing I can think of is it's this little door pull right here. Couple of big bolts holding this armrest on. A couple of distributor cap rotor buttons. There's 2 of them in there. I'm not sure why. This one doesn't even have anything on it. That's not what they are. I thought they were rotor buttons. It says right on it. Wire wheel cover lock tool. Go figure. Huh. Now you know. Seats, all kinds of seats. It's got recline, that works. It's got lumbar support. Not sure if that's working. Middle, lower. If you come over here, you've also got seat buttons over here for tilt up and down in the front and back. The seat actually does go back and forth. So the power seats work. Come into the interior, we got a couple of horn buttons that are just kind of hanging out. But the question is, do they still work? This should have a nice horn on it too. If that's part of your inspection, that's got to work. We'll have to figure that out. Tilt wheel, again, the leather wrapped steering wheel is showing its age. As we turn this on, anti-lock brakes, service engine soon light comes on, oil light comes on at the start, and when we start it up, everything seems to work. Half tank of gas, lots of oil pressure. We just started, so there's no temp in it yet. Looks like it's charging, and the attack works. We come over here, missing a volume knob on the radio. So how do we turn to FM? This button here? Yeah. Yeah, so that works. No cassettes in it. Does have electronic climate control, but I think Junior drove this home and told me that he didn't think the AC was working. So if we turn the AC all the way down, it's at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Over here. Woo! Seems cool, but not cold. Center armrest, we've got the, I think this is the dual action where it opens, yep, opens this way. And I think it's supposed to, open up this way for cup holders, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, there we go. Yep, cup holders. Oh, and look, in the coin purse here, there's a dime. Dimes have significance. Got some receipts for some stuff. The seats are dirty. They could use some cleaning, but the glove box work. It's trunk release on. What does that mean? Is there a button in there somewhere? Trunk release, does that mean I can pop the trunk from the remote? I don't know. Gotta be a trunk button here somewhere. Oh, right there. Maybe. Well, I don't know. We'll figure that out. We come into the back seat, and it feels like a couch back here. A little more plush than the Lincolns, but also a little more leg room back here in the back seat for a regular wheelbase. Granted, those other Lincolns, they got tons of leg room because it's an L extended series. But we've got an armrest, no cup holder back here. Oh, I stand corrected. There's a makeshift one. Kind of screwed into the panel there. Ashtrays, don't look like that one's been used. Missing a trim piece there. Still seems to be there. And one of the things GM kept on these cars for a long time was that. The trunk key lock cover, and that still works. Oh, well, there's your trim panels for the inside. There's actually two of them there, so we'll get those in. We got a floor, we got a jack. We got the tool for it. We got some floor mats. We got a donut spare. Lots of room in here. Not as much as in the Panther platforms because GM still utilized underneath the trunk for the gas tank, whereas the Fords, they put the gas tanks this way behind the axle, making for a lot deeper trunk, a lot more room in those Panther platforms than these GM full-size cars. Okay, so we kind of been inside and out a little bit. Once we get it in there, we'll pop the hood again, we'll check some of the fluids, get up in the hoist, and take a look underneath. And under the hood, we've got the 5.7 liter V8, the 350, with the distributor in the back. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I said in the last video this was the Corvette engine. Some of you guys tried to tell me that it wasn't. I don't know what the difference is between this and an LT1, but I do know in some of the later models of these, I think it was 94, 5, and 6, they had that stupid DuraSpark or OptiSpark ignition, distributorless ignition, which was junk. I don't think they would have put that on an LT1. I don't know. But again, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you will. 5.7, ABS brakes, air conditioning, which currently doesn't seem to be working, but maybe it does. Got a clutch fan in it. Let's go pull the engine oil dipstick, which should be over here, I think, on this car. And keep in mind, this car's got 660,000. It was a well-maintained fleet vehicle. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's within those 3 lines. It's right up there. And proof that mileage does not hurt a vehicle. This car here, 93, 03, 13, 23. 30 years old, 660,000 kilometers, 413,000 miles, all highway. Highway miles does not hurt a vehicle. Doesn't matter whether it's a taxi, a limousine, or a regular daily driver car. If you're putting highway miles on a car regularly, even over a long period of time or over a short period of time, highway miles, they're just idling down the highway, folks. Doesn't do a dang thing to them. They work great. All right, so as we come out front here, we gave the front end a little jiggle. Everything's tight. Tires, I mean, those look like they're almost brand new. Sway bar bushings, tie rods, all got grease fittings on them. It's got a new pitman arm, new idler arm, fairly new anyway. New sleeves on the tie rods, they got a little bit of flash rust on them. New caliper up in there. Control arms in good shape. Over here, new calipers not long ago over here. And we got a CarQuest oil filter, no major leaks. It's a little bit damp around that base pan, but it doesn't seem to be like dripping or drips. Transmission pan's, ouch, transmission pan's not leaking. Catalytic converter still there. Looks like we have had a patch in the floor, maybe a stop sign. I see some red there at one point in time. Frame is still in good shape. Exhaust is in good shape. We come down here. And that frame comes back like so. And we're sitting in there, right? Fuel filter. Got the trailing arms. Again, floor looks like he's sealed up those drains in the floor there. At some point in time, looks like there might have been some fiberglass on that bottom of that floor. But no holes. Brake lines, fuel lines look good inside that frame rail. We come back here. Those drums, they look like they're in good shape too. Some sort of coilover shock. Very similar to a Ford 8.8 rear end. One of the Fords had like dual arms over here. Gas tank on the bottom, plastic gas tank in good shape. This thing has all been kept coated with looks like some sort of a POR 15. It's all black still. It's not all rusty. Like it's in really, really good shape. But you can tell it's been brushed on. But he looked after it, took care of it. Oh, there's the zip tie holding up the brake, emergency brake line off the exhaust. You come up into here. Inside the fenders is all in good shape up in there. Same thing with this one. I would say it's been patched at one point in time in there or something. Maybe it's just, I don't know what that is. Seam sealer maybe. Come back over here and same thing. I guess there's a body plug right there. That's what he was doing on this side. There's a body plug there that he's got sealed up. Same thing over here, but again, all in really good shape. The impact bar, good shape. So no real surprises on this one. This is the oldest and highest mileage one. And like I said, cosmetically it's okay. But I don't think there's anything there that would keep it from passing a new inspection if it needed one. We haven't tested the emergency brake. I'm probably not going to. And some of you may say, well, isn't that your job as a car salesman or used car dealership to go through it? You know what? It is. If we're selling these things with a warranty and we want to make sure that everything's working 100%, yes, we would. But on a 30-year-old car, there's some things that you're just going to overlook. Because as you all know, and if you don't, and you want to argue with me, well, you're probably a little bit of an idiot. You don't need an emergency brake. Nobody uses it, even though it has to work for an inspection. It's got an inspection on it. It worked a year ago. I'm going to take that for what it's worth. But who uses an emergency brake on an automatic transmission? Not many of you. And if you're in the comments screaming at me, I use it every day, you're probably lying. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you what I paid for this. This is my business. I've said it before. So I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it. But I want to know from you guys, do you think that this 1993 Buick Roadmaster, in the condition that it's in, with 660,000 kilometers, 413,000 miles, do you think it's worth 2,500 bucks Canadian? And I'll put right up here somewhere what the U.S. exchange is on that. A car that's inspected for a year, good tires all the way around, front end is tight. Like I said, licensed and inspected, that you can just kind of hop in and go. Are there some cosmetic details you got to work on? Absolutely. But with today's prices in cars, like 2,500 is cheap for anything that runs, drives, and you can just kind of get it and go. We say in this business all the time that, you know, pricing has changed so much over the last 4 years since COVID that, you know, a $1,500 car is now a $3,000 car. A $3,000 car is your new $5,000 or $6,000 car. If you guys have been looking at Facebook Marketplace, you know the prices have gone absolutely ridiculous. Is $2,500 a lot of money for a 30-year-old car? Yeah, but that's in better shape than a lot of the 10-year-old cars, let alone 5-year-old cars here in New Brunswick, Salt Belt, on the coast of the ocean. Like, you just don't see cars sometimes that are that new in this kind of condition. So I think for 2,500 bucks, it should be a steal. But don't call me up, beating and banging, kicking the tires, and picking it apart at 2,500 bucks, because I'm going to move you aside and I'm going to tell the guy standing behind you who wants to give me 2,500 bucks to hand over his cash. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Do you think 2,500 bucks is lost? Do you think I should be asking more? Do you think I'm absolutely crazy for trying to get that kind of money out of a, 31 years old? Let me know down in the comments. If you do want some Olde Carr Guy merchandise, the link in the description box below sends you to my Spreadshirt store where you can get some great looking shirts. Unfortunately, not like this one. This is great, but it's not mine. And we may have to invest in some Panther Goons style t-shirts for you Panther guys who want to indulge yourself. Dale the Truck, Olde Carr Guy, Focus on the Windshield t-shirts are all available down there. Help support the channel so that we can continue making purchases like this, projects, working on Dale Jr., Dale the Truck, and my other Panther platforms. So I hope you like this video. I hope you tune in for the next one. We're going to pick one of these 03 or 04 Lincoln Town Car Executive L Series limousines. And we'll do the same thing as we did in this video. We'll go over it. I'll put a price on them. You tell me what you think. I'm going to do those two videos together. I'm going to do those two cars together because they're basically the same car, only a year apart. Mileage isn't that much different either. So we'll look at them both. We'll put the same price likely on both of them depending on what we find. We'll go from there. Stay focused on the windshield, not the rearview mirror. I love you guys. God bless. Let's do it again in the next video.